Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV talking today. The 2023 Chevy Silverado, the long-term vehicle I have at the channel this year, is getting new shoes or rims or dubs or whatever terminology you kids use these days. You always get me confused. We have new tires and rims. I'm here with Corey Kilpatrick, All-Star Customs. He's going to walk us through today. We're going to installing these tires the correct way. This guy has a little gray in his beard like I have. That means we have experience, folks. He's done this for a couple more years than I have, so he knows more about it than I have. But let's talk about these. I want to talk about this video starting with this. We have one finished, and then we'll show you tire pressure monitoring systems. We'll show you a ring people forget about with Chevrolet tires, and we'll talk more about these wheels. But I want to talk with this because this one is done. So this is what we're putting on. This is a Destination AT Firestone tire. We have some fuel wheels, and the cool part here is, if you remember, I'm doing a 1962 Chevy C10, taking it to Michigan. The tires are sponsored and the wheels are sponsored, and so, hey, thank you, sponsors. All right, so one of the things we talked about with this tire was it's beefier than our stock tire, and let me show you the stock tire for 1 second. So if I come over here, this is our stock from factory tire on the High Country 2023, and then we have over here, we have the fuel wheel with the stockier tire, but we have an offset issue. We have an issue question, and I'll show you more about this when we look down the line. But what do we have? What in your terminology of tire guy? What do we have here in tire?
This is close to a zero offset wheel.
Okay.
Your factory wheels on this truck are probably about a 30 to 35 millimeter offset. I don't know exactly without looking up the specs on it, but it's a positive offset wheel from the factory. Zero offset wheels will center the wheel mounting surface to the center of the wheel front to back.
Okay.
A negative offset wheel you'd want if you had a lifted truck, off-road truck, where you really want the wheels to stick out to give you that wider look on a lifted truck. Stock height truck like what you have here, this is pushing the limits of what you want to do with it, but it brings the tire right to the edge of the fender well to give it that nice, tough, aggressive off-road look with the stock ride height.
And we were talking about this earlier. If you look at kind of this down line, I'll put my camera right here. You can see this sticking out like this much. If you come to the stock side and look at over here,
look out, Danny.
You can see where it doesn't stick out, right? So the question then is, we're sticking out, what do you think, maybe an inch? You did a whole, look. I'm a journalist because I don't do math. He did a whole math thing with 7 years, and I don't know what he did.
35 millimeters equates to about an inch and 3/8, between an inch 3/8 and an inch and 7/16. So I'm guessing that's the difference we gained on the tire moving outboard towards the outside of the vehicle, is about an inch to an inch and a quarter, somewhere in that range.
Okay. So that's what we got. So that's the difference there. And so let's go ahead and get to the videos I shot of taking the tire off. We'll show you tire pressure monitoring. We'll show you how to mount it, all that kind of stuff that I didn't know, and maybe you didn't know, or maybe you do know, and you can critique us in the comments. Keyboard warriors, watching out for you. Hold on. One more thing I forgot is we're going to take this truck for a mile per gallon drive, and I'll get out my sound meter, and we'll see if these tires are louder than the stock tires, because I know those are key questions you're asking.
That little screw and that tire sensor transfer to the new wheels, so your TPMS light on your dash will not be on.
So a little piece of plastic, and then that sensor is wirelessly connected, so there's no wires.
Yep.
And then that goes in the bottom of the bell stem.
They keep getting smaller and smaller. I just thought these were small. These are the batteries inside of a TPMS sensor.
Okay.
And you can see how small they're getting now.
Yeah.
Tiny.
These are the sensor stems. Oh, I see.
So that is what we mount the tire sensor to on the inside of the wheel. This gets put in like a regular rubber valve stem. Sensor attaches there. Comes with another little screw again. So I guess even if we lost the other one, we still have a spare.
Well, they make those screws smaller and smaller, don't they?
Yeah.
So where's our, let's see.
Right
there. Yep, right there.
Side to the wheel. So we find our hole, which is right here. Put it up through. Should look like that.
Okay. And that's pre-assembled, like we said. Then you took the valve. You took the valve stem out because it's easier to air up that way. Or you see?
It's faster to air up without the valve core in it.
Okay.
Sometimes when you're mounting wheels and tires, you want it to air up as quickly as possible to seat the beads.
Oh, seat the bead. Okay,
Yep.
and the beads, it's right there. Yep.
Yep, the bead
Okay.
of the tire.
We're discussing tire pressure at the moment. So we're putting 40 in, and I'm going to get this wrong one more time. It's because this is an LT tire, not a passenger tire. The treads are stiffer. We need more pressure in here. Hold that up. Right? Am I close?
Yeah.
All right. And then we're looking, we have the light going on because we're looking here. So maximum PSI is 80 for cold. Load range E, what's that load range E mean?
E means 10 ply.
10 ply, so 10 ply.
It's 10 ply rated.
Okay.
That's the other, the
10,
keyword.
yeah.
Keyword
There's
is rated.
10 ply rated.
Right here, plies, tread, we got 2 polyester, 2 steel, 1 nylon. If you add that up, how many plies is that? That's 5.
And then what's the sidewall?
2 ply polyester.
Oh, so is it, you had 2 there too, or not?
That's just the sidewall. The first line here is what you have underneath your tread. Now this being a 10 ply rated, there should be 10 plies underneath of the tread of the tire, 2 plies on the sidewall. But the key word, like I said, is rated. If this is a load range E, that's a 10 ply rated tire. So you have actually 5 plies building this tire. Modern tire technology, you can get a 10 ply rated tire with only 5 plies underneath the tread.
And then, don't know, but we have LT 275 60 R20s and mud and
Snow rated.
Mud snow rated. Yep.
Your 123 and your 120 is your load rating.
Load rating.
Doesn't have anything. Some people think that's a speed rating. Your 123 is your load rating on a single wheel application. Your 120 is a load rating on a dual wheel application. The R is the speed rating of this tire. And then of course, mud and snow, and we call this 3-peak mountain rated on this little symbol right there.
Yep.
So this can be run as a snow tire in the wintertime. It's not a dedicated snow tire, but can be run as a snow tire.
I've written about that, but I always forget about that. So the other thing is, do you know the math top of your head and how many inches this tire is?
It's 275 millimeters wide from sidewall to sidewall. It is the sidewall height is 60% of that 275 millimeters.
Okay.
Times 2 plus the 20-inch rim. And if you do all that math, you will have the exact height of this tire by figuring out 275 millimeters times 60% times 2 plus 20 inches. That's the height of your tire.
All right, so I'm gonna Google that real fast. We're back. Okay, we're back. 33. That's what we got. You used to run a 32 and GMs with this 33. And were those other ones 33s, the stock ones, or 31?
Yeah, they were.
So 30, 33, 33. So we're doing stock to stock. Okay.
It's in a little dinky handheld Allen wrench with the kit with the wheels, but
Oh, so you want them.
so much easier to
Right.
get the proper tool. You got to keep in mind these are metal screws holding on a plastic center cap, so you don't want to over torque them.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing you want to keep in mind too is that there's 3 actual screws in the design of the center cap. There's 3 fake ones also. So if you kind of want to take the cap off and figure out which one's a which, sometimes you can flick them with your finger. They'll hollow that sound. The metal one doesn't make that sound.
Okay. That's how you know.
That's how you know which ones to take off and which ones to. Some people stick their tool in there and break the plastic and just mangle it.
And then you're screwed.
And then they're like, well, I guess that was a fake one.
Yeah, don't be busting those.
Every wheel is different. Sometimes they use 1 fake screw, sometimes 2 fake screws. This one uses 3, which is kind of nice because there's 6 total, so it kind of evens out the pressure to hold the center cap on properly. So,
all right.
Set that aside.
Roll on over.
We are ready to go. Now, with our kit from Wheel Bros, they sent hub centering rings. I've already pulled out the one that should be for Chevy. Chevy uses a fairly small center board. It's like 78 millimeter. And we've also got gloss black spline drive lug nuts and a lug nut tool to put the lug nuts on with. So we'll grab the hub centering spacer, make sure it fits. It does.
Okay.
That's where that goes.
So what's the point of that again? I'm sure.
It helps center the wheel on the hub of the vehicle before you start tightening down lug nuts.
Okay.
Some people have the problem of throwing it on there without the hub center ring, and they tighten the first lug nut tight with the wrench and then tighten the second one and third one. Well, if that wheel isn't perfectly centered on that hub and you're relying on the taper on the lug nuts to center the wheel, you don't ever want to just tighten the first one really super tight, because then the wheel doesn't move and the wheel doesn't get centered on the hub properly. So that helps to where you can easily get the hub centered onto the back of the wheel, because your aftermarket wheels have this large center bore.
Oh, so it goes right in there, and then yeah, okay, all right.
Some wheels are made specifically for GM, and they'll have that size of center bore on the wheel. This is more of a universal. This would fit GM, Toyota, the new Dodge, 2019 and newer Dodge uses the same bolt pattern. So to make the wheel universal to fit all those different brands with this bolt pattern, they include several different sizes of hub centering rings with the wheel when you buy them.
Okay.
So our next step is we want to get the wheel up on the studs. Push it on, make sure it's over the hub centering ring.
Get around you because the sun is blocking my camera, I think. There we go.
Open the kit, we'll get 6 brand new lug nuts out. We're going to need this tool too. That makes it a lot easier to put them on the wheel. So I would usually take the tool in my hand, put the lug nut in, start lining up the first one, get it threaded in. I like to go in about as far as it'll go by hand, and then go across from it. Get the other one. Make sure the wheel's going all the way on over the top of the hub centering ring, and then just work your way around. may seem like a little bit of overkill, but this is the way I train my guys to do it, to make sure we're doing it properly and getting the correct result every time we do it. So here's a 100 foot-pound torque stick, and it's where I got the socket on it for our tool. I don't need that socket right now.
Really? So that stick is a torque stick, so it's set up?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. I can see it right, I can see it right there, 100
foot-pounds.
100 foot-pounds, so it's already, well, that's handy.
So, as I start to tighten this on here, I'm going to go in a crisscross pattern to start with. So just kind of hit it lightly, start snugging them up. And then I like to go around, make sure, in a circle, make sure they're all hit. And what you want to look for is the socket stops turning. The gun will be hammering away trying to turn it, but the end of this torque stick will stop turning at 100 foot-pounds. The last one to make sure it's all tight, and we're done.
And then there it is.
Yep, there it is. The wheel is on the truck.
And the last step is hand tighten these down. He's got torque wrench. What's the torque at?
Starting to 100 foot-pounds.
100 foot-pounds, hand tightening them. And that's not a jet going off in the background. That's a sugar factory blowing out pipes or something. So sorry about the noise. You can't do anything about that. Or if we could, we wouldn't have that sound at all. Okay, let's go for a drive and see how well these do. First, I'm going to start it up, and I'm going to go into my menu system, and I'm going to reset my trip here. So that's a lot of city driving and towing, lots of different stuff going on there. But let's go here and reset. So there is our resetted trip odometer, and then I'll hit the road. All right, at my turnaround spot here where the railroad guys are working on some stuff, we have 50.9 miles driven, and we have it on the screen, a little closer, 28.5 mile per gallon. Okay, let's talk more about that, actually. So I'm gonna wait for these cars to turn, but I'm gonna give you some stats. So the tires outside, they're new. The new ones are Firestone Destination XTs. They're an LT 275 60 R20s. The 265 70 R20 LT is the same tire on that 275 60 as the stock vehicle is. So the stock ones, same ones. They weigh 52 pounds, and I found them on Tire Rack for like 320 bucks. The rims, or the wheels, are the fuel traction wheels. They're a 20x9 wheel with 1 millimeter offset. They're 43.1 pounds. They're $485 a piece, and they are for a total of $753 for the wheels and tires. So they're a little bit more, but $753, and they weigh 95.1 pounds. For the the stock stuff, I call it old stuff, they're same 20x9. The rims, I think what I found online was 38.85 pounds for the rim, aluminum rim. The fuel was 43.1, so a little bit difference there. And then the LT Goodyear Wrangler Duratrack tires were 57.08 pounds that I found on Tire Rack for $317. So our weight differences is 95.93 for the old wheels, the stock wheels. The new ones are 95.1 pounds. And the basic difference between the stock tires and the XT tires is the tread. So the tread is the biggest difference. From what I can tell, looking at them and online, this is more of an off-road tire. It's got a bigger tread to it, better for like mud, dirt, and I would theorize they're probably a little bit better for wintertime for snow and ice because of the bigger tread. Again, you guys let me know in the comments, but it seems like they're pretty good. So as far as how they ride, so if you haven't been to the channel before, I've done like 40 videos on the Silverado 1500. Check the other videos out, the Duramax, all 9 yards. For driving them, I feel like they ride pretty well. I can't tell much difference between this and the stock tire, except for when I hit bumps and things. This one we have at 40 PSI, and that's kind of high, and Corey, the wheelman who did this stuff, you can find his YouTube channel as well. He's gonna do a lot more stuff over there. It's really cool stuff. Corey is saying that, you know, he usually sets up tires, usually goes a little bit high just for the new tires, make sure everything gets in there nice, and then we can kind of dial it back from then. So, you know, we'll start at 40. The truck recommends 35, and so we're going to take and we're going to work our way down, maybe from 40 to 38 to 35, and kind of find the sweet spot for how I feel the tires ride and how they go over bumps. That's a big thing. Cornering, no big deal there. Corners well. I don't feel like I'm floating. A lot of times the older off-road tires, you would feel like you're floating a little bit with how the tread is. This one, I mean, this is a road trip tire. I don't have those concerns with it. Let's talk about sound, because I feel like I can hear these tires a little bit more, but let's do the sound meter. And when I looked up my sound meter test I did with the Silverado stock tires, I feel like it was between 69 to 70 decibels when I showed it on the camera. So I'm going to turn up the sound meter. This is a digital sound level meter. So 68, 69, that's probably, I'm not so scientific with this, sorry, I'm not somebody who does that stuff, but I feel like that's right within the range of the stock wheels as far as sound. So I don't have any sound difference. I don't hear them. I feel like I hear them a little bit more, but that could just be me really going, oh yeah, trying to get every detail. But they're not like they're whining. They're not big off-road tires whining. They corner well. I don't have a whole lot of concerns cornering. I'm doing a little thing here. Yeah, fairly tight. I've not been drinking all day. I haven't had a drink at all, so no, bust me for that. And yeah, I feel like they're, I meant for the steering. I'm steering a lot on drive. All right, pulling back into town here. So we have 97.8 miles driven, almost 100 miles, and I have it at 28.6 mile per gallon. So we drove 50 miles east and then 50 miles west. We had some small towns, we had some highway driving, we had at speed 70 miles an hour. And there is a Scottsbluff National Monument if you've never seen it before. It's actually a state park, and that's Oregon Trail. So the pioneers used to go through here, and that'd be one of their points of reference. So 45 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, 50 miles this way is east, 50 miles west, and driving on these roads. And that's what I got for fuel economy, which is probably, if I were to guess today, I'm probably within a half mile per gallon of what I normally would get. So the tires probably cost me a half mile per gallon if I were to do this test again with my stock tires. I have gotten 30 with my stock tires. And so this one, if I keep driving, will probably get up to 29, and probably anywhere from a mile to half mile per gallon difference in fuel economy. All right, so yeah, what do you guys think? I mean, I think these are really cool looking wheels. I've never been a big wheel and tire kind of guy, and I know opinions vary, but I really like this. And yeah, I know it's $753 per wheel to have those put on, but I was looking at the tires, and the tire difference between the stock tire and this XT tire is $5. So if you're gonna replace these tires anyways, you can just go the XTs, or you can get this really cool look. And I saved my stock tires, so when I sell this truck, I'll put it all there, and somebody can change it elsewhere, and somebody can sell them separately, whatever they want to do. But yeah, I really kind of like this. I'm a big fan of this setup. So yeah, put comments down below. What do you guys think? Does the truck look better? Truck not look better? Do you like them? Do you hate them? What are you guys' thoughts on wheels and tires? I can't recall I've done a video on just wheels and tires, because I don't know that much about them, and I'm really excited to learn more, and I'm hoping you're excited too, because there's a lot to know. Wheels and tires can be pretty interesting to talk about, and I can't wait to learn more about it. So for more on this truck and other things, check the videos over here, website down below as well, pickuptrucktalk.com, and I'll put Corey's link to his channel down below in the description too. Lots of experience doing wheels and tires. You should check that out. I'm gonna help him out and get some videos up, because he's got so much to share, and it's really interesting stuff. All right, as always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.